So what is up, everybody? Looks like I'm going to start doing a little bit some, not only deck profiles, but I'll give you some of the new people that don't understand Vanguard. A little bit of some tutorials and on some discussions on some cards. So pretty much in today's video, we'll go over all the Paladins, what are the good cards, what are the bad cards, what are the best forerunners you should run, and give you guys a better understanding of every clan and how they run and what the decks could kind of feel like. But it's always up to you to make that winning image. So we're going to try to go over almost every card really quick. Give you guys a little bit of a better understanding of Vanguard. So obviously grade zeros are always starters. So when the game first started, we all won Barkle. And what Barkle did was he gave us two different units for getting rid of certain triggers. We got rid of a quick trigger for Lou, and we got rid of a stand trigger for Flogel. Obviously they don't show the pictures for the card. They just tell you what it is about, but when Lou was out on the field and you had Flogel, you pretty much put Borkle and everyone into the soul. With Flogel. Flogel didn't get the effect. Flogel is just a plain 5,000 booster. But this is if you're running low on boosters and you want to use Borkle to summon more units, you can. Obviously this is just a troll card. This is what you see when you fight people with VPs. Claudia is a different type of grade 0. It is a common grade 0 unit. And it just gives a unit 3,000 power, so if you wanted to get rid of it, give a unit 3,000 power for a turn. So you can put another one of your grade 1 boosters in, you can do that as well. Orange Ale is for your Knights of Quest Galahad type deck builds. It's how you superior ride from the deck without playing the card from your hand, but usually most people try to have every possible scenario so you don't lose too many cards in hand so you can keep the field advantage. But that's what Royal Paladin was always about. Libergold, you'll be seeing him in the future once they nerf Wingold Brave, because he searched out Majesty Lord Blaster, who we'll go over in this video as well, when building your Royal Paladin decks. So you'll be seeing this in the way future, because Japan's been using it for a while now, because Wingold Brave here can add any blaster card from the deck to your hand. But in Japan, it's Counterblast more, and you can add a Magic Grade 3 blaster. So that's not nerfed yet, we're in America, so you're going to be getting the American tutorial. Alright, let's start up. So Flash Shield E-Salt is a booster, but this is a PG. These are the things that save you at the very end of the game. So you try to have all 4 in your hand as soon as possible, or just have 2 and just work with what you have. That's when we go over the triggers. But the triggers is like a different story. But right now, E-Salt is your PG for your Royal Paladins. Lake Maiden Leanne, this is a card you use to get rid of your bad triggers that you didn't need. And depending on the deck you're running, and you drew some of your heals, you pitch the heals to kind of get an intercept or a booster. You're trying to like build your field advantage so you'll be able to block certain attacks and keep your field pretty high. Lake Leanne definitely helps you with that by discarding and drawing a card. Pongal is used for Soul Saver Dragon techniques, so you see these more in like sometimes the Galahad builds. Once Galahad runs out of his counterblast, which we'll go over, Pongal searches out Soul Saver Dragon by going into the soul. And pretty much this gives you an extra unit for the soul, because certain cards require you to have a lot of cards in the soul, which we'll discuss too. Alright, Young Pegasus Knight. When you put a card in your shoulder in your main phase, this unit gets plus 3,000 power. So it become a 9,000 booster, so units that soul charge at the start of the main phase and this unit's out, this becomes a 9,000 booster. It's pretty good, but it's not something some decks are always running, so you don't even worry about that. Alright, most cards a lot of us use is Little Sage Marin. Definitely an 8,000 beat stick is great. Dream Painter is to add a card to your soul if you're running a little low for your soul attacks, your soul effects, I should say, your soul blasting. He kind of helps out in the end if you're ever looking for that extra oomph. And some other cards do that as well. Knight Squire Allen. Alright, so he counterblasts 1 to gain 1,000. So this can be good for end games or beginning games, depending if you have a big counterblast deck. If not, then Knight Squire Allen can go up to an 8,000 booster, even 10 if you're trying to get over bigger units, which is good. Wingull, normal Wingull. I know, he looks weird, but he's adorable. When it's used to boost a Blaster Blade, it gets 3,000, so if you have Blaster Blade, so here's our Blaster Blade. If we boost Blaster Blade, he becomes a 1900 beat stick, which is really good in certain situations, but it's a common and it only works for him. So it's a 7,000 booster plane. Sad face. Alright, so Guardians of the Sky, Knight Griffin. You Soul Blast a card to get 3,000 power until the end of battle. So this card has to be used as a Vanguard in case you're running low on intercepts and you need to try to go for game. This unit can hit 9,000 and kill an intercept, if anything, if that was the situation you're in. Interesting common nonetheless. Lion Mane Stallion, when this unit boosts an Alfred, so pretty much there's only like 2 Alfreds in the game so far. So when this unit boosts an Alfred, you Soul Blast one, gets 4,000 power, so it's an extra 10k. And the only Alfred this can really boost is Alfred Early. Let me show you that. Alfred Early being this guy. This is the only thing he can boost to 10,000 by Soul Blasting one card. And that's about it. So that's like, obviously not the common you would want in a way. It's a weird common. Alright, on to the next one, Starlight Unicorn. This card gives 2,000 when it's placed, so if you wanted to give your Vanguard an extra 2,000, while your intercepts or other cards are attacking the intercepts, which are the grade 2s, this can almost be a game changer at certain times, but you never know when you're going to use it, but not a lot of people do. Next is Toy Poogle. When this unit boosts, if you have 2 or more grade 3s, it gets 3,000 power until the end of battle. So pretty much when this card boosts, if there's more grade 3s, it becomes a 9,000. Which relates to another card, which we're going to hop into the grade 3s, is Swordsman of the Exploding Flames Palamitous. He just needs 2 more grade 3 units for the extra 3,000, so putting those 2 together, that's a 2,200 beat stick, and they pretty much both have the same effect. And a lot of Royals run Swordsman of Explosive Flames. He's really good. That extra 3,000 is a huge help. Alright, back to our grade 1s. So back to what we're talking about with Orange Ale. This is the Galahad, Knight of the Quest. So you superior right into that, into his next form, the Knight of Tribulation Galahad. And you just soul charge 2, and then you just superior writing into his final form. So yes, I'm going to be jumping around with these certain cards and talk about other cards. Knight will at least be Galahad. Now the main point of this card is once you have 6 or more cards in the soul, you counterblast 2, give yourself an extra critical damage. So this is good at wasting perfect guards early game if you're really trying to get to your opponent and destroy him as fast as you can before he draws more PGs. This is also not a bad idea, especially your opponent could get screwed out of intercepts. And Knight of Speed can really do some damage if you know they don't have the PG. Alright, back to our grade 1s. No one uses this card, Sage of Guidance, because he's a big gambler. When you place reveal top card of your deck, if it's the same grade as your Vanguard, write it. If not, put it into your drop zone. So he kind of mills the top card of your deck if it wasn't even going to be anything. So say like it wasn't even a grade 3. So he can like mill the top card, shorting the deck just by a tiny bit. So if you wanted to get to your grade 3 trigger checks, he wouldn't be too bad. It would just depend on the situation. Because you don't want to lose a grade 3, you probably want to lose the grade 1 out of everything, possibly the grade 1, because you're probably going to need intercepts late game, you know? Alright, so back to a certain unit, Borkle. This one's a unit made for a certain card named Garmer. And what Borkle does is, he summons another Brugal to the field, but he has an effect with Snoggle, where they gain an extra 1,000 per Snoggle and Brugal. So that's good for late game, and yes, they're level 1, so your opponent can get around it. However, thanks to Fang of Light Garmer, those Snoggles you have and Brugals turn into intercepts, so it's like adding extra intercepts in the deck, since this would probably be your main Vanguard. Which is good, because you need intercepts sometimes, and those Snoggles can hit pretty high as well. And most of those would contain sometimes stand triggers to crit triggers, but mostly the stands because your Snoggles are hitting pretty high. We'll go over triggers in another video, but right now we're going grade 1 Roller Paladins. So Borgle here, which makes no sense, he can't be an intercept. He boosts 9,000 once there's 6 cards in the soul. This unit gets plus 3,000 attack. So technically you can use this card even as a 9,000 beat stick too, since you're running a Galahad deck and you're building up the soul to 6. Galahad's probably the one unit that gets up to 6 soul a lot, so this card would definitely be used a lot as well, because Galahad can use that. Alright, next card. Knight of Friendship K, pretty good unit honestly, goes up to 10,000 power if you have a blaster card, which is really good. And that can be good for late games, end games, and all that. So if you had another booster, you can put this card up to 1,800, 15, anything. It's a really good card to have, especially to kill some of those intercepts. That's why it's known as one of the rares. Next, Knight of Rose, Morgana. Pretty good common for some newbies. When this unit attacks, you discard a card, she gains 5,000. She can hit 12,000 power, which is good because that gets over a lot of the 11k shield units that you need to jump over sometimes to really hurt your opponent. So that's like pretty much late game type stuff. Miru Biru, when this unit is boost, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, draw a card. So this is like a nice card to have. Again, there's like another draw, discard. If you didn't get, again, let me say this, if you didn't get her, which is like the rare version, getting him wouldn't be bad either. But you get, the difference between the two is you can discard on your main phase. This effect works in battle phase. So depending on the situation you're in, obviously you want to plan ahead of time on how you want to make your deck and how you want to like speed through it. Alright, let's start in the grade 2s of the Royal Paladin, see if what you want to run. Alright, next. We got Blaster Blade, obviously one of the best Paladins out there. Retiring grade 2s are really good, especially in this game. Once you kill your opponent's intercept, you get to really break through his defense and attack the Vanguard. Because they can't, in the real game, obviously your opponent defends from the hand, but not in this game. So this effect is really godly because you're killing intercepts so you can get more attacks in. And that's really good, and that's what you really want to get done. You want to get your opponent up to 6 damage. Blaster Blade helps. He can help you get through those perfect guards when your opponent's at 5 damage. It's amazing. High Beast, High Dog Breeder Akane. Really great card as well, especially when it comes to a Garmer deck. So now these grade 2s I'm going to tell you what deck they can be used in, since I showed you Galahad and Garmer. This can be used in Garmer. This is like a backup card, because Garmer can summon units, which we'll go over more. So this card in particular is more for Garmer, because you bring out a Snoggle or a High Beast card like Pongal, and you just kind of look for the tabs on the right, because right here, when I'm pointing at, it says High Beast, so you summon cards that are named High Beast, and pretty much she's mostly used to get out your Snoggles, which are your intercepts. So it's like having another intercept because you're playing freaking Garmer deck. Alright, Knight of Harp Tristan. Alright, when you dry check, so this is a grade 2 for some of the FTPs out there. You build grade 3, this card gets 10,000 power pretty much. So not only does it gain 5,000 for dry checking a grade 3, it gets another 5,000 from the trigger check, which is good too. Now that's for like those big plays. If you attack them with its intercept units, you can get some more damage in. High Dog Breeder Siren, and not too much use, but it's a counterblast 1, increase a High Beast card by 4,000, which is good. That brings up your Snoggle up a couple, because you have to Snoggle the extra 4,000 if needed. But most of your counterblast goes into Blaster Blade, like clearing the field as much so you can attack your opponent. Not a Galatine, just a no ability card, but a 10,000 beat stick. Pretty good. Alright, Coveted Knight Randolph. During your turn, if your hand has more cards than your opponent, this unit gets plus 3,000 power. Obviously, this is a situational card, depending on the decks, because most decks out there now are really draw turbo, so your opponent mostly has a lot of cards in hand. Running this is kind of like a situational, because 8,000 doesn't get by anything. But if you have a booster, obviously it's going to work. Eagle Knight of the Skies. If you have more rear guards than your opponent, this unit gets plus 3,000. So that's not too bad. I mean, if you have more units and you're playing more units, because Royal Paladins are legit about having a lot of units out, this becomes 11,000. But your opponent can go through that too, but think of it this way. If you have 6 units and your opponent has 6 units, and you attack one of your opponent's other units, this guy goes up to 11,000 anyway, so he can be like a normal beat stick unit with 11,000 already placed. And you can boost him later if you're running a stand trigger deck. Again, positives. Next. Great Sage Baron. When your card is put into your soul during your main phase, this unit gets plus 3,000 power. So we're going to go over those cards too. Pretty much main phase is legit right after ride phase. And some cards have certain effects when that happens. So he's one of them that gets a special effect. He goes up to 1,100. So we'll show you the cards that give you that soul charge in a way. That's what they call it, soul charge. Alright, Swordsman of the Blaze Palmides. As you can see, this is his pre-evolution before he became a god. During your turn, if you have 2 or more grade 3 units, this unit gets plus 3,000. So pretty much, Palmides and this card are best buddies. I mean, if you play Palmides and you play this, they both are going to gain 3,000 power in the front row, and then you have some boosters in the back. But again, not a lot of people use it because that effect is like and you don't want to have too many grade 3s in the front row anyways, or you're not going to be able to intercept your opponent. Here's your Beast King Garmer card. This is his pre-evolution. It's a really great card. You place it on the Vanguard circle, gets 1,000 for every Snowgle and Brugal. You already have about one Brugal, so it's already at 9,000, but he has a great effect. You discard a card from your hand, and you place a Snowgle for free from your deck. So that gives you a free booster, and you're building your field, which is awesome. And that's what you want to do when it comes to the Fang Beast Garmer decks. You want to build your deck with those Snoggles, so those Snoggles come out. These things become strong and stronger as long as you keep your Garmers intact, because they call that the Blizzard Formation, folks. And you got to keep track of that. We already went over Galahad. He's just one of those cards that do a superior ride from the deck. The top 5 cards hold our boy right here, Knight of Godly Speed. So we already went over him. We won't go over him again. Okay, Gigant Dozer. This is another one of those cards that need that soul charge up to 6. So Galahad deck. Your soul's at 6. This card becomes a 1200 beat stick, which is great. But most Galahad decks are becoming Snowgle Galahad decks. So you have the Snowgle boosters as well. But if you want to change the tactics, Galahad is your offense, Garmer is your defense, and we're going to show you that as well. Alright, next card. Sound Guiding Elf. It can pretty much gain a couple power. I mean, Counterblast 2 becomes 1100. But you're wasting Counterblast for some of your good effects, so that becomes a problem. Alright, big card for you Majesty players is Knight of Loyalty Bedivere. That extra 3000 is good. It becomes a 12k beat stick, so it's strong. So you use this Knights of Friendship K, and then you're going to be at 1900 always. So really good hitbox. Star Called Trumper, obviously a must for Majesty Lord Blaster decks, and we'll be showing you Majesty in a second why that card is ridiculous. But yeah, this is definitely one of those cards. Some of the grade 2 are Lord Blaster card from your deck. So pretty much Blaster Blade or Blaster Dark, those cards come out and have a good time. And that's how you get Majesty Lord Blaster's effect off, which we'll show you actually, because now we're on grade 3s. And this is where your last ride begins. Alright, King of Knights, Alfred. During your turn, you get plus 2000 for all your other rear guards, so he gets all of his power from all the units on your field, so he gains a good 10 stack if you have your 5 units. But you can't boost him. There's a reason why, it's because of that. But he has also a great backup effect called the Counterblast 3. You call a grade 2 or less card from your deck. This also helps Majesty Lord Blaster, which we'll be showing you in a second, get your soul charge effect off to make him a 2 crit monster. Soul Saver Dragon, obviously used for Galahad because you gotta pitch, you gotta Soul Blast 4 cards. Galahad has 6. This is pretty much late game. You would do Soul Saver because once you run out of your Counterblast for Galahad, you go Soul Saver for the extra 5000, which is amazing, which is good in situations. The most OP card right now to me is Gancelot. I mean, that is free. This card legit grabs you Blaster Blade for free. You're legit putting this card back in the deck just to get Blaster Blade. And that is free, and that sets you up for more combos and retirement on your opponent's field. It's really crazy. That's how crazy Gancelot is. Alright, Alfred Early. Definitely could be better than his first form, since his first form kind of Counterblast 3, but he can't get boosted, but this card can. And what this card does is, if you ride on top of Blaster Blade, yeah, I'm going to keep going back so you understand. If you ride on top of him, and this was your grade 2 ride, you can call him to a rear guard circle, and not only that, get his effect because you summoned him again from the soul. So I love that effect. That's usually a nice combo ender too, or game ender, because you're killing your opponent's intercepts to break through their defenses and win the match. As you know, we already went over Mighties, that plus 3000 for grade 3s. Crimson Butterfly Bridget, when you drive check reveals a grade 3, this unit gets plus 5000, so he becomes a 20,000 beat stick once you drive check another grade 3. But he has to be the Vanguard, which sucks. So it's not as good. He would have to be your Vanguard, and no one runs that as much. Alright, Demon Slayer Knight Lohengrin, or whatever his name is. This is what I'm talking about, the main phase. You soul charge 1, and then those effects start going off. His effect would go off, but usually they're dead by that turn. You're not going to really have these cards out because your opponent's going to kill them. But yeah, the perfect example is pretty much this guy. He'll be dead by next turn you do the soul charge, and that's about it. So there's no use for that card. That's why it's a common, not like one of the best. But yeah, this is the whole point about soul charging. When you read the last effect, if you soul blast 6 cards, counter blast 4, retire all of your opponent's rear guards. That can help you in the long run as well. This is also a situational card. You never know. Maybe you don't counter blast with the Galahad. Maybe you actually wait until you feel like, if you know what deck you're fighting against, this card could come in clutch in the end because you're killing all the units that he set up, and he possibly could have more. But if you do that, then he has to refill with the amount of cards in his hand. Say he has 4 or 3, then that's going to be hard to come back from. So that can be a good situational card. Knight of Conviction Boars. When this unit attacks, counter blast 1. Get plus 3,000 until the end of battle. This is a good card in a lot of ways, actually. This can be a good endgame card, or this can be a good, like, hot, good boosting card to break more limits if your opponent gets a high shield. That shield being an extra 10,000, this could actually get a boost from a 7,000 unit and get an extra 3,000 and go over. But you kind of want to give them the 8,000 because that brings them up to the 2,100. And most of these units hit 2,100 besides some of the new cross-ride units in the game, which we'll go over as well. So this card's really good too, especially a 5th damage final attack. This card can be very clutch in the end. Just a normal Star Drive Dragon, just a grade 3. They just give you at the start pretty much. This is like something you would find in like those 50-cent boxes in like a card shop. During your turn, if you have more rear guards, again, another one of those units that need more rear guards. This unit becomes a 1200 beat stick. So again, maintaining your field, having more cards than your opponent. Obviously, these units can prosper and be something great. But again, they're not the best. Alright, let's go over our boy here, Fang of Garmer. He is a triple rare. He's a great unit. He gets 1,000 for each Snoggle and Bruegel. So picture your field having, I don't know, 4 Snoggles, 1 Bruegel, which is pretty much the usual setup when almost you do this play correctly. Your units are going to hit over like 20k power, and Garmer legit hits at like 2,400, which is great because that gets over a lot of the cross-ride units that can go up to 2,300 on a shield because of a damage check of a trigger. So that helps you. Fang Garmer is one of those units you would use. Definitely the boost helps, and that gets you over there, but if he starts killing your Snoggles and Bruegels, you lose the boost, then you kind of lose some of the advantage. But not too much, but you're able to maintain. So that's Fang Garmer. As y'all know, we already went over Galahad. He gets an extra crit for counterblasting 1. And you can do this effect twice if you're feeling lucky. You can go up to 3 crits, but again, that becomes situational. You gotta see how your opponent's playing. Alright, let's get to the big boy here. His name is Majesty Lord Blaster. As we kneel before this card, on our knees, we're just putting our heads down, our arms up to our foreheads. We're just bowing down to the Majesty here. He is a fusion of Blaster Blade and Blaster Dark. And Blaster Dark is a Shadow Paladin clan, but he can be used in Royal Paladin just for this combo. So the whole point about this card is, and what Star Trumpeter was trying to say is, when he attacks Majesty Lord Blaster, he puts Blaster Blade and Blaster Dark into the soul. So technically you will lose 1 intercept if that's how you play it, or if you had multiple intercepts in your hand, you can even play those just to defend yourself. But sometimes you don't even do that because you kind of play it out because it's too early in the game, and you're usually getting this unit very early just because of Wingle Brave. So this will bring you up to 2 crits. His power will be at 1,200 since he has Blaster Blade and Blaster Dark in the soul. So this guy's base attack will stay at 12k plus 1 crit, which is good. 2 crits is big in this game, especially you get to hold on to it. So it really is one of the best Royal Paladin cards to date right now in this game, in the English dub. So without a doubt, if you have this card, congratulations, you have the biggest meta. Now you just gotta get the rest of the rares and all that to keep it steady. Alright, Twin Shine Swordsman Marcus Moraz. I guess it's Moraz. And see, it attacks a Vanguard, gets 1,200. This is pretty much for fighting mirror matches in a way. But it also goes up to 1,200, so there's 1,100 units. Like Galahad, these units can smack them for free without a boost, which is good because you're going to boost with your Vanguard anyways. So these are good units to kind of have because they're really, in reality, they're 1,200 when they attack a Vanguard. They're normal base when they attack other things, but sometimes when it comes down to the last match, like these are the units that are going to try to finish the match. You know, that extra 1200 will help you. Blue Flame Knight Dinas. She looks pretty fresh. I like the armor. Pretty much you counterblast 2, you gain 4,000. That's about it. It's not as good. It can be used as a Vanguard or rearguard effect, but pretty much use it as a rearguard effect if you're running stand triggers. It's pretty good for that, but that's about it. Anyways, on to the next card. Yeah, we're down to like 2 more cards, and then we're done with this clan analysis, and then we'll break down what you can do. Holy Disaster Dragon, another great card. This is a grade 3 that can hit up to 1500 by discarding a card. So as that grade 1 we showed you that can hit 1200, Holy Disaster can hit 1500 with a boost, can go up to 22 to 23 or 20. But usually you'd be giving this guy one of your triggers to get him up to 15 already with the boost of another unit. And then discarding a card, he can hit 2700 at best. Most of the back rows are legit kind of like 7,000s when it comes to the royal decks like Majesty and all that. Alright, Powerful Sage Baron. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, one of your unit gets plus 3,000 power. Doesn't really do much. Does not really do much. I mean, I guess this would be situational, I guess, if your opponent legit didn't have any intercepts. But this card's not that good. It's only a 9,000 beat stick that has like no good effect that can help you like later on in the long run. So, alright, so final analysis for you guys. So the biggest deck being used now is the Wingold Brave, where you have Wingold Brave, you run Lil Sage, you run Leanne over here. So if you're taking notes, you're taking notes. You run Leanne over there. You run the Friendship. This is like the best deck for Royals. This is the Royal Pal. This is the Blaster deck. You run 4 Blaster Blades. You run 4 Blaster Darks. Let me show you Blaster Dark real quick. You run 4 Blaster Darks. You run 4 of this guy and 4 Blaster Blade. Actually, I only run 3. You don't need too much Blaster Dark since he doesn't really have an effect. Just 3 is good so you can maintain consistency. So you go into that, then you go into that. Then you have like then you have obviously Friendship, Knight of Loyalty, Benevere, and you have Star Call Trumpeter, summoning a free intercept as well. So Star Call Trumpeter can give you more defense as well. That's why it's good too. Summoning another Blaster Blade or a Blaster Dark, giving you more defense to defend against your opponent. There's that, and then you run Magic. Then you run Knights of Knight Alfred. You run 4 Gancelots, and then you obviously run 4 of the big boy here. So that's your Majesty deck pretty much. Now if you wanted to change it up to Borkle, like I said, Borkle, you just go into more of the Beast Warriors. And by Beast Warriors, I mean the High Beast. So you pretty much would run Snoggle, High Beast Tamer, and pretty much Beast King Knight Garmer. Those are like your big units because you'll be running it with Fang of Light Garmer. That's how it has to be. Now sometimes you don't even have to do Borgle. You can even go Galahad. You can still go Orangel over here. Orangel? It's Orangel, right? Or is it? No, it's Drangol, man. I kept thinking it was an O, but that's a D. So Drangol over here. Drangol goes into Galahad. That's good. Galahad goes into, like I said, him. So this can be your starting Vanguard, and then you just go into him. And if you're having a little situation here, you run the Fang of Garmer cards like I just showed you, which was Snoggle. And that gives you more of the intercept blocking on your opponent because you're done with the counterblasting. He doesn't need counterblasting, Tyler. He just needs the cards. That's it. The Snoggles, and you're done. Obviously, you run the Gancelots. These are free trigger heals. These go back into your deck. It's for heal checks, which is good. Those are really, really good. Cards that go back into the deck like that are really good because you get your heal checks back. So you run that pretty much. And that's how you would get your heal checks back, but that's also how you can grab more, as they say, the Blaster Blade. Really great card. Alrighty. So pretty much those are kind of like the main, those are the main 3. Until we start getting more up to date where they actually nerf Wingold Brave for Majesty decks. You pretty much just switch from Wingold Brave when he does get nerfed to Libergal. And that's about it. Alright guys, that is your clan of the day. I hope this video helps you. I hope you found it a little bit more. It helps you understand this clan a little bit better, understand the combos, understand what you can or can't do. So thanks for watching. Be good, stay safe. I'll see you all another time for another clan analysis. So see y'all next time.